I just love everybody just being so authentic and so raw and real. That's what Hit Talks is about. It's about authenticity, and it's about being raw and real from the heart. And this brings me on to my next speaker, because she is raw and real. And when she came onto one of the last episodes of Hit Talks, she was just like, oh, Vikki, I've gone too slow. I just haven't had enough of my time. And I was just saying, oh my God, my love, you are just so inspirational. You're just like a bubble of light. And she just got this smile that just elevates people. And on top of that, I love her so much because we are going to be climbing Kilimanjaro in July 2021 together. And I would never have done that if it wasn't for connecting myself with amazing people like Shadi. So Shadi, for your hope, inspiration and transformational story, you now have your 8 minutes, my love.
Thank you so much, Vikki. Thank you so, so much. I'm so excited to be back on here. I really enjoyed my last talk, as Vikki says. So to be invited again is a real honour. I wanted to talk about turning fears into fearless passion. So we all have fears. We have all sorts of fears. They come from weird thoughts that we have in our heads that we repeat to ourselves. Some of them come from our childhood, based on, our upbringing. In my case, for example, I remember my very, very earliest memory is I wanted to be an astronaut. I mean, I wanted to be an astronaut, and my parents were like, that is not a job for a lady. That is not a job that you could possibly have. You need to think realistic, Shadi. You need to have a job that is steady and is suitable for a woman, and so on and so forth. So, of course, certain fears were set into me from a very early age that those sort of exploration jobs were completely not attainable for me. So I pushed them aside. And over the years, I've discovered that there's other things in my head that I'm fearful of. So one fine day, I sat myself down and I thought, well, I'm going to take a deep look at these fears and sort of really try and understand where these fears come from, and tackle them head on. So started my list, and at the top of my list was heights. And I could not understand, why would I be fearful of heights? I've never had an accident. I've never had a fall. The only thing I can think of is that I have this connection with heights that makes me think that I'm out of control. It's a territory that I haven't been in, and I'm concerned about falling and hurting myself. So I thought, okay, if I'm scared of heights, perhaps I should learn how to climb. But if I'm going to climb, I'm going to climb the highest peaks. I'm not just going to learn to climb. And if I'm going to climb, I need to climb purposefully. So it's not just exclusively for me. If I'm going to do something, I want it to have a higher purpose. I want it to have a beneficiary and someone who's going to have my back in case I decide that I don't want to do it anymore. So I connected with several really high-profile charities, and I said, I want to raise hundreds upon thousands of pounds for you. I'm going to climb these peaks. No, I've never climbed. I have 2 little children, and I'm going to leave them behind and do this. And I think everyone thought that I was a little bit crazy to start off with, but soon enough, they realized that I was completely serious. My first day of training went like this. The chap looked at me up and down and went, you are 5 foot nothing. You have never climbed. You haven't got the appropriate equipment, and you want to climb the highest peaks in Europe and some of the 7 summits? I don't think you're going to be able to. He sort of fueled me. He fueled me into wanting to do it even more. My legs were covered in bruises. I was breathless. I was hopeless. But the moments that I stopped and turned round and looked at the view, I realized how insignificant everything around us actually is. The silence, the utter beauty, nature at its true best. And I thought to myself, wow, if I can conquer my fear of heights, what else can I possibly do? Where else can I go with this? And what other great things can I achieve? And so then I started looking at bringing teams of women together and taking them on explorations and taking them to real extreme places where they wouldn't naturally go, and often they would be told that they can't go to these places, and conquer some peaks and watch them flourish, which in turn made me feel so good about myself, because I'm sharing the wisdom and the knowledge that I've learned, giving them hope, and allowing them to transform into someone that they never thought that it would be possible. Then I started looking at my list again and thinking, okay, I've done my heights and, you know, I've shared my wisdom with some other wonderful women. What else fills me with fear? Public speaking. Now, I know where my fear of public speaking comes from. I was 11 years old. I was head girl at my primary school, and I was told to do a speech, and I went blank. I had no idea what I was going to say. I felt stupid. I felt judged. I felt that I'd let down the school. All these things that are coming from within me. Nobody else imposed them on me. You know, it can happen to the best of us. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to have to try and practice this public speaking business. And so really, I've dedicated the rest of the last 5 years of my life going to schools and spending time with amazing young children from the ages of 5 up to 12, and then occasionally going to secondary and sharing some of my real extreme exploration projects, showing them and telling the children very clearly in black and white that your career path and your choices in life are not linear. Your map is more like a bowl of spaghetti, you know, all entwined, and we all go different ways. And eventually we find our way of where we want to be going, and we find where we need to be living purposefully. My background was economics and marketing, but I wanted to be an astronaut. Yet how important the people around us are. We have a safety net, and we also have people that encourage us, but we have people that hold us back. So look at your close network and see who are those people that can help you and support you to reach those next steps towards being able to tackle your fears. I promise you that if you move your personal safety barometer a few degrees into that area where you think it's a little bit dangerous, it's a bit risky, that's where the magic really happens. Nothing super exciting ever happens in our place of safety. So just try and identify your fears, look at those around you, create some rituals, and work one step at a time to get that little bit closer towards tackling those individual fears and those things that are holding you back from being your amazing self. And I thank you all for having me on your show. Thank you.
Tackle your fears, my love. Yes, if you're frightened of heights, climb the highest mountain. Perhaps if you're frightened of water, become a scuba diver, something like that, and really face them head on. Thank you so much for sharing that. And when we talk about, you know, facing our fears, it does take courage. And it takes courage, but it also takes the right people to be around you. And going into the new world and having the right people around you in the right vibration into this new world that we are all stepping into is really going to help us to be able to face our fears. So thank you so much for sharing.